If you're using LLMs in no-code platform like Make or N8N, chances are you're not getting the best performance or cost possible. In this video, we'll see exactly why your workflows are underperforming and how to fix it. By the end of it, we'll be able to integrate OpenRouter to Make and N8N and switch between models dynamically. There are three main components. The first one is the cost. So you want to pay less depending on the complexity of the task. The second one is the overload and timeout. So you want to switch LLM when needed, when one of them is overloaded. The last one is accuracy. So you want to choose dynamically between LLMs to use one that is specialized in this task. The first thing I wanted to show you is that all LLMs are not equal. So this is LLM price check. This is a website when you can check the quality, the context, the input, output, knowledge of each LLM. And you can see that, for example, you have models that have quality of 100 on 100. You can have 35, 40, etc. This is the same idea with the cost of the input. So the context that the LLM will have to understand what are you asking. So you can have some that are cheap, like Mistral 7B, Gemma 7B, Llama 38B, etc. And you can have some of them that are really expensive. For example, GPT-4 32K. You have the same idea with the cost of the output, so the answer of the LLM. Like, for example, you have Gemma 7B IT that is really cheap, and you can have also GPT-4 32K that is really expensive. So as I said, every model are not equal, and some of them are better to do certain tasks. For example, let's say you want to write personal emails. So for this, you don't need a really high quality, but because you will need a lot of outputs, because you will write a lot of emails, what you will need is an output that is cheap. So let's say something around this, and you need a quality that is decent. For this example, this model here have an output that is pretty cheap and a quality that is decent. So this would be a good model for this task. And the idea is to find the best cost-efficient model in the market that is good to do this specific task. To do this, OpenRouter is a great tool because it will allow you to only use one node in your workflows instead of connecting your account to 20 LLMs and for each workflow choose which LLM you want to use. And you can even switch LLM automatically in your workflows depending on which one is better on the market at this time. To do this, we'll first create a database. So I called it LLMs and I created it on Airtable. So I made it pretty simple. You have the name of the LLM here. You have the quality, so the accuracy of the LLM, and you have the cost per million token in dollar here for the input, and the cost per million token for output. I added also the specialty. So this is just as an example, but Claude 3.5 Sonnet is good for text generation. Same for GPT-4o Mini. Mistral Large is good for calculus, and Perplexity is good for research. And I added a last column here that is called grade. So this is a formula that I will open here. So basically in this formula, you have four elements. You have the input cost, the output cost, the quality, and the specialty. These numbers here, 0 0.2, 0 0.2, 3, and 3 here, are the coefficient that I want to apply for each of these values. So 20% for input, 20% for output, 30% for quality, and 30% for specialty. For the example, the task that we'll try to do is text generation. This is why here in specialty you have text here. So if the specialty is text, you have an additional 0.3 on the grade, but you can change it for your specific task. I will put this link in description and also this formula. Then let's open OpenRouter. So you create an account, you go on keys and you create just a simple API key. You copy it and we can go first on Make. We'll first see how to use it on Make. Then I will show you how to use it on N8N because on Make you have a pre-made module, but on N8N you don't have it. So I will show you how to connect it. And finally, I will show you some tips to make it better. So let's start with Make. So basically, the idea is when you have a workflow and you have a node or a module that is an LLM, you will be able to replace it with these two nodes to be able to choose the best LLM for your task and switch automatically. So the first node is a basic one. This is an Airtable node, search records. So you select the base where you stored your LLMs and the tables. An important thing is to store them with the field grade that we've seen here. And also what could be done is to create multiple columns here. So for example, grade for text, this one, and you put in specialty text. You can create another one, image generation, calculus, research, etc., etc. So it's easier after to filter them for the specific task you want. But here, let's keep it simple, and this grade is for text. You sort them by descending order. So the best grade is on the top. The output field should be only the name of the LLM, so we can use it in the OpenRouter module. And the limit is 1 because we only want a single LLM. So you can save this and you connect this to OpenRouter. So you connect your router with your API key, then you create your prompt here. So we don't need one for this example because we just want to see if it will select the right LLM. And for the model, you want to retrieve the name of the LLM selected by Airtable. And you can save this. So let's run this, and normally it should choose the best available LLM on the market for cost efficiency ratio for the task of text generation. So let's run this and let's see which one it choose. So the model that OpenRouter choose is GPT-4o mini. So let's go back. So for the text, we had GPT-4o and Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So this was between these two, and as you can see, the costs are higher for Claude and the quality is worse than GPT-4o mini. So obviously the grade is better for GPT-4o mini, and Airtable choose the right model for this task. A thing that could be interesting to do on Make that you cannot do on N8N is to add a rollback module. So basically what you will do with this module is if the LLM you want to use is not available, overloaded, or I don't know, there is an issue with the provider, you can roll back to the previous step, so the Airtable module, and select a different one without your whole automation crashing. So this would be a really good usage of the rollback module on Make. Then we can go back on N8N. I've created a simple agent, but the thing is, I've added the exact same Airtable module. So you can find it on nodes, so Airtable. And this is the search record. So this is this one. This is the exact same one we've added on Make. So you connect it here with your personal access token. You select the same table, the same base, etc. And here in the option, you want to sort it again with grade, with the field grade by descending order. And the limit should be also 1. So this is the exact same module than the one on Make. After this, you want to connect to your AI agent here in the chat model, the OpenRouter module. To do this, you need to go here on chat model and select OpenAI chat module. And here, what you need to do is create a connection. But what we will do is instead of having the OpenAI base URL here, you want to take the base URL of OpenRouter, that is the thing you have in white here without chat completion. You paste it here and you paste your API key here. Once this is done, you will see that from the list, you will not have only the OpenAI models, but you will have all the models from OpenRouter. So let me delete this, connect this again. And as you can see, what I've done is instead of having a fixed model like this, so from the list, you select one, I've selected expression and we'll select it by ID. But the thing is, we need the variable here to select the name of the model from Airtable. We need to run this to have access to the information of the previous node. So let's type hi, for example. And normally we should have access, yes, to this node. So let's see here on OpenRouter, mapping, and normally we should have the name here. So you can drag and drop it here. And basically, as you can see, you have OpenAI / GPT for Omni. And you're done. The only thing I want to specify is that in your database, you have to make sure that your name here are strictly equal to the ID of LLMs on OpenRouter, so you can use it as a variable. A last thing that could be really interesting for the database is that for this example, I filled this manually, but with API, with a tool like this one, I don't know if this one have an API key. It doesn't look like it have one, but if you find a tool that have an API key, you can create another automation that work by its own to just update this data automatically for you. So you don't have to fill this manually. If you like this video, I've made another one on how to create a WhatsApp AI agent on n8n. Let me know if you have any question on this topic. Thank you for watching.